tell you something, brother. This might be the best OG Kush I've ever had. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. You just said a mouthful, brother. I'm higher than helicopter butt. Listen, though, Hulkster. Young Lurch has been running his mouth on that podcast. Blaze the Bingo Hall podcast needs to show some respect to the veterans, brother. I say we run in there and show Young Lurch and his guest just exactly who the OGs of this game are, What you gonna do, Blaze the Bingo Hall podcast, when the Macho Man and the Hulkster run wild on you? Ooh, yeah. Give me like 10 minutes, though, because I'm really, really stoned. Oh, yeah.
Welcome
that intro rules.
Yeah, welcome into the Bingo Hall. It's your host with the most, Young Lurch. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching on YouTube, if you prefer audio only, we are now uploaded. Everything's on Spotify, so for you audio only people, you can check us out on there. But yeah, welcome into the Bingo Hall, the Hardcore Hoochie Daddy from the bad side of PG County, J.B. Anderson. Welcome in, my friend.
What is up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Yeah, man. I know you don't partake in the hashish, but it's all good. I'll pull your weight for you and what we're blazing here today.
Much appreciated. I used to, trust me. Like
okay.
I did heavy at one point, but went straight edge 8 years ago, so now it's like it's off the table. Although I don't shame my California straight edge homies who still smoke weed.
Yeah. Yeah, the California sober, right?
Yeah, California sober, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, like, what is that initially? But it's like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, back in the day, we used to call it weed edge, where it's like, oh, no, man, it's normal. Like, we're still straight edge, but we smoke weed. And I'm like, everything evolves. Whatever, do your thing, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much me, man. I've smoked weed. I mean, I used to drink back in the day, but I also have Crohn's disease. So, like, after time of drinking, and then that, it just, what it does to your body, all the sugar for the Crohn's, it just is the worst thing ever. So it's just like, not worth it.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get right into it. You're Maryland born and raised. What part of Maryland do you call home? And what was life like for you growing up there?
I've kind of like lived all around like PG County, Maryland. So like that's kind of like my main like stomping grounds. Like I've been in Baltimore a lot. So like I kind of claim like the Baltimore area because it's kind of like the closest place to explain where I'm at. But yeah, like I've definitely been like I'm definitely a Maryland born person. I'm not a big crab cake person though, so like people could pull my card. I don't think
people probably hate you for that.
Probably. I call Old Bay Maryland dirt. I don't think it needs to be on everything. So like I'm a little bit of a hater, but like only when it comes to certain little things. Because like, dude, people out of all the stuff in Maryland, like people put our flag and crabs on like way too much shit to a point where it's almost like a cult.
It is. There's a Facebook group called Maryland is a Cult.
Oh yeah,
it's all about that.
Bro, me and my buddies, when we first found about it, we were just like on there like looking at it like, dude, these people are like about this life, man.
I'm sure you have just as many people that you know like me that have the Maryland flag tattooed on them somewhere, or have some sort of rendition or something like that.
Well, I don't have the Maryland flag, but I do have PG County tattooed on my wrist. Because PG's like, I think it's its own special little pocket of Maryland. Like it's a very unique part of Maryland, and a part of Maryland that I always felt like got like kind of shit on. That's why I always say that I'm from the wrong side of PG County, because there is no right side. Okay. It's just like people from Moco hate PG County, people from Howard County hate PG County, people from Baltimore County sometimes will shit on PG. So I don't know. I kind of wear it on me as like a badge of honor being from here.
Yeah, I think anybody in Baltimore hates anybody outside of Baltimore. It's, the crab mentality. They don't want to see anybody do good. They're trying to pull everybody down.
Maybe. I mean, it's gotten better, because like it was definitely like that when I was in like my teens. But like as I've gotten older, like Baltimore has definitely like opened up more to people. It's like you just got to come up here with the right attitude. I think that's all it comes down to. Like, if you're a visitor, just come up and be a visitor. Don't act like you run any streets up here.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a good place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, how much did your Maryland roots shape who you are today, both as a person and a wrestler?
I feel like definitely like my vernacular and like the way I talk, like my draw, like all that shit. I think it all kind of like comes from like just the air, like the neighborhoods I grew up in, like the people I've been around. Like I got kind of pretty much shaped by like the Maryland like hardcore and like hip hop scenes because that's basically where I spent all my time as like a teenager. So like I think that's kind of how it shaped me as like an adult. Like all like my ethics, my style, all that shit. It all kind of stems from like those music communities.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different cultures and influences, especially in Maryland. There's so many different ethnicities that, a lot to pull from and be influenced by, especially, being surrounded by other states that they have their own swag and influence as well.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, we got like it's a pretty awesome mixing pot. You kind of get like a little bit of everybody's human experience around here, and it's like if you got the patience to just talk to somebody, like you kind of learn like a little bit about so many different walks of life in this area. That's kind of one of the reasons I think this area is like really special, like PG County specifically.
yeah. You've also been vocal about wanting to plant the flag for the deathmatch, wrestling, community, I guess, in Maryland. What
Hmm.
drives that mission?
The fact that like so when I worked with H2O a lot, I noticed so many people were driving up from Maryland to come to shows. And when I don't know if you remember when we started doing like the earlier bell times, like we were doing bell times at like 5 or 6, and
I
people
good,
yeah,
good.
people were really stoked about it because they're like, oh shit, I can get back to Baltimore before like 2 in the morning. And I was like, oh, you drive all the way up from Maryland? And they're like, yeah. And I found out a lot more people started doing that. And then I was like, shit, okay, well, there's a market here for it. And then like, you know, even when I like I because I trained at MCW, and I wrestled there for like a year. There were hardcore matches there, and I'm like, okay, like there's a crowd for this. And then like I'd go to EWA and I wrestle for AWA and all these other places, and I'm like, people really want hardcore. And then because of the way the commission is, they only allow you so much. And I'm like, man, this is such a neutered, like soft version of what this can be. Because it doesn't need to be like buckets of blood or anything like that. But like the you can get a lot of mileage out of a little if you're given like the freedom to do it, right? Um and I think that's kind of what's driven me to kind of like really like put my foot on the gas with like getting more of this in Maryland,
Mhm.
because there is definitely a crowd for it. It'll stand out on a show because it doesn't need to be a whole show of hardcore. Even though like my dream is to have a deathmatch tournament in Maryland. Like that's I want to do the first ever one of those. Like that is something I've actually talked to members of the commission about and trying to figure out how to make happen.
What was that reaction?
So, it was after an FWA show up in where is it? Up in fucking Havre de Grace,
Mhm.
and uh, I won't get too deep into the details, but something happened where I heard a loophole for something, and I was like, "Hey, can we talk about that a little bit?" And they were like, okay, cool, like let's talk about it. And we started like, you know, spitballing ideas. And I was like, this is a style of wrestling that does not happen in this state. And it's something that I want to happen. And I really want to bring a deathmatch tournament to the state. Because the sports commission in Maryland, they take a cut of whatever. So when I was like, hey, this could bring in a lot of money, this could bring in like a lot of new people, their immediate reaction was, ooh, money, cool. Like that was their
Yeah.
first thing. So, you know, we start talking and talking and talking, and they didn't understand a lot of the art behind it. So it was basically a matter of me sitting with them and trying to explain that like we are not like violently mutilating ourselves. Like we are, but like it's like for some reason they thought that like we were actually trying to like put each other in the hospital. And it was more of like an education thing. That's
Yeah.
all it was. And like the person at the commission even was like straight up like, I don't know anything about the style of wrestling you're talking about.
Right.
And then I think because she started following me on social media too, and she was like, well, I just want to see what you do. And I was like, all right, bet, yeah, like follow me. Like we exchanged contact information, all that shit. And we've been talking on and off for the past like year, trying to like figure out like how we can make this work. It's more about lawyers and shit than anything else. Like there's a lot of legal stuff we got to work through, and they're busy with other shit. So that's why it's kind of like halted a little bit, but we're getting there. So she ended up following me on social media, and she watched one of the matches I had with like a lot of light tubes, and I typically don't do light tubes often. It's just, I like to save them for special occasions sort of things, right? So she ended up seeing that like I'm not pouring fucking blood from getting hit with a light tube, that I'm not getting, put on a helicopter and sent to a ER because of a light tube. And just messaged me, and she was like, so is that real glass? And I was like, yeah, it's real glass. I just know how to use it. Like, and the person I wrestled knows how to use it. Like, these things can be safe and, still look fucking disgusting at the same time. So it's just mainly a lot of educational shit and just like teaching them stuff. Like, I had to show them what gigs were. I had to show them a whole bunch of things. So they're warming up to a lot more than they used to. Like, they let me wrap ropes and barbed wire for a match here in Maryland. So I still feel like that's like the biggest accomplishment I've made so far, where they were like, okay, that's fine. Just how are you going to use it? And then I just had to explain it. That's really all it came down to.
Yeah, I think like you said, like education, the more education, the better, simply because if they don't have to govern that type of wrestling, there's no need for that woman or anyone on that, commission to look outside the box to say, hey, what's this or what's that, unless they're just a genuine fan of it. But it's like you said, it comes down to you and, maybe some others to educate them and show them exactly how you can execute it and have a safe environment while, also making it what it needs to be. So,
yeah. And I because there was one show I was on where they wouldn't let me use a door. And I was like, why can't I use a door? And they're like, well, someone got cut open pretty bad on a door. And I'm like, how? Like, that's a freak accident. I've never been cut bad on a door ever. And I just was like, can you walk me through what they did? And they're like, we didn't even see it. And I'm like, all right, then. So that's a problem. Like, okay, so and I was like, I get it. Like, maybe like the door, like it's definitely a hollow core door, but like, is it a door that like maybe a splinter came off and got him in the shoulder? Like, how bad are we talking? Because like, they don't stop UFC or any other kind of like mixed martial arts or boxing here in Maryland if there's some blood.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why does pro wrestling get that same kind of like that halt? Because like you got to go home in 30 seconds if you're bleeding in a Maryland match, right? Like I think everyone who enjoys deathmatch wrestling who lives in Maryland, they know that rule. I think that's just kind of common knowledge at this point. But like there's that's the part I'm trying to like circumvent, where I'm like, yo, the first match that's allowed full fucking blood in Maryland is going to go fucking off.
Yeah.
Like, because I think like, and that's something that I'm trying to bring to Maryland. It's something that I am going to be a part of when it happens in Maryland finally. And like, I guess whatever company wants to, book it, you're gonna have a memorable fucking night on your hands, because it's gonna be gross.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I can't wait till that happens. I know GCW just had their first Maryland event this year. I attended, and of course, like you kind of mentioned, it's almost like it has to be watered down to an extent. Like, you had Tremont versus I think it was Tremont, Slade, but it was like they did hardcore, but then you have the commission come out and squash it just for storyline purposes, so the fans kind of get some sort of payoff. But it's the fans, there's like you said, there's a market for it, there's a thirst for it. So if that can be achieved, that would be great, especially for the state.
And like I said, it's mainly just like, I hate saying it this way, but like explaining the magic trick. Like, me and Elijah Eden did a match in AWA where we were using cinder blocks. And, I took like a body slam on it. Like, I got hit with one, yada, yada, yada. But when I was explaining how we were going to run at each other with them and collide and they were going to explode and all this other shit, the guy working with the commission that night was kind of like, is that safe? And I was like, yeah. It's fine. And like, I was like, it's no more dangerous than a guy flipping out of the ring doing a like fucking moonsault or a dive to the floor. Like all of it's calculated risk, man. And then his major concern was, is any of it going to fly into the crowd? And I was like, nah, we're not hitting, like we're hitting each other dead center of the ring. It's probably going to explode a bit, but like it ain't going to make it into the crowd, man. Although the keyboard I hit him with definitely did. I swung the fuck out of that. And there were little bits of keys going everywhere, and people were like, what the fuck? It was great.
Always love that spot, especially when like New Jack or somebody would come out with just a random keyboard, and like you said, the keys go flying everywhere.
It's such a cool visual, man. Like growing up, like New Jack was like one of my favorite people to watch in ECW, because like I just loved like the amount, and I think I kind of model a little bit of what I do off of how he operated like early on in matches, where it's like he brings his stuff out to the ring, and it's like, this is just fun for me to just find ways to hurt you. Like, I've always loved that attitude about him, man. It was always great.
So were you always a wrestling fan growing up, or did your love for wrestling come later?
Pretty much since I was a little kid. Like my earliest memory of wrestling is like watching Survivor Series with like my older brother and my dad. And like, as soon as like the Ultimate Warrior came on and just started screaming at the TV, I was like, oh shit, this is cool. And then like I found out about, and then I think the Road Warriors were on that pay-per-view also, and like Demolition, and I was like, this shit's cool. And like, I don't know, I really like face paint and all this other shit. So it's like very far removed from like what I actually do in wrestling. But I was so into like big, loud, fucking wild characters and face paint and just yelling and big powerhouse dudes. But yeah, I watched it through that. Like I, was able to find like ECW like over like what was it, like Baltimore 45 would like play it in like the middle of the night sometimes, so I was able to catch
like
that.
Used to get it on like TNN at some point too
later on. Like I'm talking like 96, 97 is when I was able to like catch it like on over the air channels and shit, like pre ECW on TNN. Like I had cable, little black box.
I was gonna say, did you have the black box?
I had it too, yeah. That's how I watched all my like Attitude Era like pay-per-views, like all of them.
Like the 4 or 5 pay-per-view channels or whatever it was.
So, and Statute of Limitations, and that was my stepdad who bought it, not me. I just benefited from it. So
I knew where you were going with it. I was like, that
cable company can't get me, dog. But no, but the so like I would watch by that time I think I was able to watch TNN, because it was like 99 or 2000, something like that, when they moved to TNN. So like I watched it all through that. I watched it through my teens, through my like early 20s. Then like the Benoit stuff happened, and I like fell off a little bit, because like Benoit was like one of my favorite wrestlers growing up because of just how like ferocious he was. I was like, man, this dude's a fucking killer. Happened, and I'm like, fuck this shit, man.
Fucked you up a little bit.
It did because like that was like the first wrestling death where I was like, this
felt connected to them.
And like maybe this sport isn't good, that's kind of the way I felt about it, because like with the brain trauma stuff, like I was starting to learn about CTE too, because like I played some sports in high school, so like or like just my teens, and like I've been hitting the head a lot. I've been hitting the head a ton at hardcore shows from like people crowd killing and hitting my head off stages and shit. So like I get it, and that kind of stuff started worrying me. So I'm like, damn, like okay, this shit is a little barbaric. Maybe that's how I was thinking at the time, because I'm still kind of in shock about the whole thing that happened. And what was it? That was like, I think like Stone Cold had retired at that point. Like The Rock was like limited. Mick Foley was done. Like there were so many wrestlers that I grew up watching and like caring about that were like starting to go away. And the newer crop of wrestlers from what I had access to at the time, because also the black boxes stopped working.
I scrambled them.
They all stopped working because they all switched to cable boxes. But that's when I kind of fell out of love of wrestling a little bit. Then I think like, what was it? Like a year or two had gone by, and I was at a bar that had Monday Night Raw on randomly, and like CM Punk was on it. And I was like, oh shit, someone like me on TV. Because I was like, oh, he's heavily tattooed. He comes out to like fucking kill switch engage. He has this whole motif of being like a hardcore dude. He's straight edge. I'm like, all right, cool. I fuck with this. Yeah. And then like him and like Daniel Bryan slowly started getting me back into wrestling. And then I found like, what is that company? Like New Japan, and I started watching more of the Japanese strong style shit. And I'm like, this is fucking cool. Yeah. And then I was immediately a fan again.
Was there a moment for you that clicked where you decided, all right, I'm going to become a wrestler?
Yeah. So I really wanted to, I want to say like 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. I was like, all right, I want to do this. Cause like I had a friend who had, passed away like a few years later, who, was trying to get into CZW back in the day. Like, I think he trained like at the CZW dojo for a bit, but did some match somewhere, broke his back, ended up like, taking a while to like come back and shit. But we were talking about it and he was like giving me a lot of advice. Then, he ends up passing away and I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Well, I still really want to do this. But like I was still really deep in like, my alcoholism at the time, so it was so much repeat of, all right, I'm going to start doing this tomorrow, or I'm going to start doing this tomorrow, and I'm just in the cycle, and like I can't break it. And then I'm like like 2019, like when I got sober in like 2017, I was like, all right, so like I really need to like hunker down, start getting active, start taking care of my body, and like I needed something to kind of like focus on. And a bunch of shit happened, still didn't happen. Then 2019, I finally got all the money together I needed to go to training. I was in better physical shape. And then as soon as I was about to go, the fucking pandemic happened. And I'm like, fuck!
I was going to ask, because you said 2017, I was going to ask, how did the pandemic influence everything that you were trying to do right before then? Yeah.
So, well, because I was playing in bands, so like every time I was like, all right, I'm gonna go, like my band got like a cool opportunity to like go on tour or something, and I'm like, all right, bet, like we're gonna go play music, like wrestling is in the background. And then I started getting that weird feeling of like maybe I'm too old to do it, because like I was creeping up on my 30s, and I'm like, all right, I don't know, I don't know if I can be a wrestler at 30. Like, what's the world coming to? But then like. The thing that kind of shifted everything in 2019 for me was when I was at a show and I was talking to Brody King for a little bit, and he kind of like pep talked me into like going for it, and I was like, actually that conversation with him like really helped, because it made me not feel so bad about my age going in, and it made me feel confident that like someone from like our little pocket of the world, the hardcore scene at the time, that was still pretty tiny then, but like it was big, but not like TikTok big like it is now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like we actually could make it in wrestling. But anyway, so the pandemic started, and that killed all my motivation for it. And then like I think by the time like I got in, which was like October of 2020, like the month leading up to me signing up, I was like, dude, like 1 million people are dying a day. Like, this is insane. Like, that's where my brain was. And I got a little brain broken during that period of time, too. And I was like, I don't want to just, like, wake up one day, get sick, and die without trying this shit. So, like, I'm diving in head first. Like, I sent them my money. I signed up. And I was like, I'm just going to ride this out and see if I can even do it, because I don't want to be 80 or on my deathbed in like 10 years or whatever, and wonder like if I could have done this. And
that receipt for regret.
Yeah, because like I remember one guy that like, because when I was a bouncer at the time, I had a buddy there that was he used to do like amateur boxing and shit, and he's like, man, I wish I never did it because of like, all the brain trauma and stuff that I have now. And I'm like, yeah, but you did it, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, did you enjoy it in the moment? And he's like, yeah, but I don't know if it was worth everything. And I was like, but you can say you did it. You have to live a little differently now, but you had that under your belt, and you had wins under your belt, and you achieved a dream you had. And he was like, yeah. And then that kind of like put stuff in perspective for me too, where I'm like, if I don't do this, I don't want to sit there and think what could have.
Yeah.
And then looking at what I've done in the last couple of years, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm blown away by what I've been able to do. Like, the opportunities I've gotten have been, like, so fucking cool, and I'm so fucking grateful and thankful for it. So, like, I'm glad I pulled the trigger when I did. I got the training when I did, and I made the moves I've made, and here I am. Wouldn't have been here if I fucking didn't, man. It's crazy.
And it comes from hard work, you know. Getting to where you're at doesn't come from just, you know, I mean, timing's everything, right place, right time. Some people could say that, but like at the end of the day, it comes from hard work. And when you put the work in, it shows, and people will recognize real recognizes real, you know. So it's like they see what you're doing, and that's why you're going to continue to keep getting these opportunities. And hey, who knows what's coming next? I know you got a lot of things coming up, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But
for sure.
Before wrestling, what kind of work or hobbies filled your life? I know you mentioned music. You were into the music scene a lot. You played in a band. Did you also do like some promoting as well for music?
Yeah, I did promoting with a buddy of mine. We used to like book shows together. So like we focus more on like getting like grindcore, power violence, death metal, like that kind of shit into the area. Cause there was like an okay power violence grind scene here, but we were really adamant about bringing like bands in, like, you know, like we brought guys in that were like I'm trying to think, like we brought in like Vitamin X, like dudes from the band Spaz, like there are like 90s fucking legends in power violence, like their bands that like they started like later on, like just a lot of different bands. And he had a lot of connections with them because he ended up working with like a bunch of people in New York. So we ended up bringing a lot of people in. But that was like one hobby, was like booking and promoting shows. I ran like a screen printing business for a little while where I was like doing t-shirts and posters and all that kind of shit for a lot of the local bands, and for like some of our shows that we do like special event tees and stuff like that. That and like video games, like those were like kind of all my major like hobbies before I got into wrestling. Wrestling has just sucked up so much of my time. It's like so hard to do anything else.
Do you think that there's a lot of like similarities within the music scene and the wrestling scene?
Oh, 100%. And I feel like that's kind of what's given me like a leg up a little bit in like understanding like promotion, understanding communication, networking, all that other shit. Because like also like from the I feel like people can really detect you being non-genuine about shit. And coming from like the hardcore scene, like I feel like that's something that like we don't allow. Like if you were coming into this with like some phony baloney bullshit, or like, you know, we used to refer to some bands as like mystery guy bands, where their bands would play shows, but we'd never see them at shows. We never see them supporting shows. So a lot of us were like, we're not booking mystery guy bands. And I've taken that kind of mentality into wrestling, where I'm like, well, I don't want to get booked by, or I don't want to go up to a promoter and be like, hey, like this, like, I just want a booking and I'm going to bounce. I'm not going to do anything else for you. You know, like I always try to offer something else with me when I come in, you know, because like I want to either, like, I feel like little things go a long way, right? Like promos go a long way. Promoting the entire show, not just my match, goes a long way. Doing what I can to work with the promoters to like, hey, like what can I help with to make the show better? Like, what can I do to stack whatever it is you have going on? Who can I help on the show? You know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I try to look at it from the DIY perspective of how can we both benefit and both grow from me being here, you know? And I think that like that level of genuine, like, hey, I want to help, that has helped me a ton in getting in my foot in the door in a lot of places. And it does come from a genuine place, because, you know, I do like any opportunity I get to wrestle or any opportunity I get to work with somebody, I'm like, they don't have to let me in. There's no sign on the door that says everyone welcome, you know? So the fact that anyone will take a chance on me, I'm like, all right, well, let me go the extra mile to make it worth their time and money, and make it worth my time as well. Because at the end of the day, I want to have fun, but I also want to keep progressing my career, you know?
I think you're 100% right. You know, the genuineness definitely bleeds through. I think a lot of people are scared to kind of like show that side of them, even if they are a very genuine person, because of I guess fear of being vulnerable or whatever. But when you're showing that initiative and you're trying to be like you said, hey, I'm here to help, whatever you need to make things better, let's do it. It goes a long way, and I think it's the little things like that that count. I just did an interview yesterday with a gentleman named Alex Salyers. He's based out of Arizona. And he said, you know, when he shows up for a promoter, it's like, hey, what do you have for me? They let him know. And he's like, well, not in a way of trying to change things, but hey, what do you think about if I add this or we do this? And it's kind of a collaborative thing versus, you know, he sees so many wrestlers go, what do you have for me? And they tell him, and then they just go, well, that sucks. And then they just go out to go do it. It's like, dude, you've waited 2 weeks or a month or whatever it is for this booking, and you don't have any other suggestions or any other like,
yeah,
you got to come with something, you know? So that's what he was saying. It's like, it's his job to have something prepared, even if they don't use it, at least something that where, you know, you're pulling your part, or, hey, this is what I can, you know, provide, or another, you know, avenue of, you know, a different perspective, I guess. So,
yeah. And that's the thing that like always kind of like, it perplexes me in a way where I'm like, okay, we all have been trained. We're all wrestlers. We all understand business, and we all understand like how this should work. So I don't get when people come in with like kind of like a piss poor attitude, or they're kind of grumpy or whatever, like about their situation on the show. Like, you know, I've been promised something and then had it taken away, and I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, plans change. It's fine. Like, I'm a very roll with the punches person. Where I'm like, okay, like, do I still get to do this? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I bet, cool, we're good. You know, like I'm not difficult with that kind of shit.
You know?
Yeah.
Some people, they get the, you know, the boo-boo face, or they get all, you know, disgruntled. It's like, but at the end of the day, you know, you're the only one that can change that situation. Or if you want to, you know, if you have something better, then say it, you know. But some people, they just, hey, it is what it is, you know. It's like, but
yeah,
we get consumed by that.
A positive mental attitude will go a long way, I tell you, man.
Who were some of your biggest influences in wrestling? I know you mentioned Chris Benoit, but like, as far as like when you started training, like who were some of the guys that were, you know, when you were honing your craft, that you were looking up to?
So I watched a lot of Brody King, because I was like really enamored by like just his like ferocious fucking style. Like, do you mean for like fundamental training, or just kind of
like so when you were being trained, like guys that were like,
Okay.
hey, like really looking out for you, or, you know, that you look back now and you're like, hey, that was a good fundamentally, you know, sound type of training or something like that, or coach, I guess.
like actual coaches and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so like when I ended up going up to H2O, like Matt Tremont showed me like so much stuff. Like, he was very hands on with me when I was up there. Like, he would have me work his shows, and then he would like, you know, he'd have like a whole legal pad of paper when like I first started coming up, and it was just all stuff like of, you should work on this, you should try this, you should try that. Like the Monday night shows that he put together for us to like just learn and understand like crowd work and just being comfortable were like they were so fucking helpful and amazing for me to like for me to like get better at the craft of pro wrestling, right? But yeah, other than him, like when I was like in Maryland, like Brian Johnson helped me out a lot, because like a lot of Ring of Honor guys would like kind of come through and help out here and there. Like he was very helpful with like kind of getting me like from I don't know what I'm doing, like clean slate, to kind of starting to feel that comfortability in who I was. Then I did a Mike Bailey seminar, and he was the fucking best. Like, he was amazing. And then I did a seminar with Delirious, and that one was amazing. Like, those are probably like the 4 people I think that had like a hands-on approach. Sorry, 5. Neil Diamond Cutter too. I look up to that guy as like a real mentor, like legit. Because same deal. He helped me out with so much shit, and, you know, helping me build up to this like that big like 1,000 carpet strip death match, which good grief.
Yeah.
Good
I have
Lord.
that on our list too.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, just like those 5 people, man, like they helped me a ton. They helped me so much with just getting like comfortable and believing in myself and believing in my ability to do just do me and figure out like how to make wrestling work for my style, essentially.
Yeah.
I owe them a lot.
I guess a lot of them are able to make, I guess, certain things make more sense to you in a way when like you may know what you're doing or physically, but like, hey, this may make more sense doing it a certain other way that you wouldn't normally think about. I guess like when you said Tremont had the legal pad, so he's like, I guess he was breaking down your matches
Oh
and
yeah.
certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, like the first time I ever wrestled for him, he was like, hey, I'm gonna be taking notes of the match, and like, I'm kind of used to how like, when I was at like MCW and they would, take notes, and then I'd come back and it's like, oh yeah, footwork, pacing, blah blah, and I'm like, can you break it down? And then they're like, yeah, this move made no sense, and I'm like, okay, like that's not as in depth as I thought I was going to get. So when Matt told me that, I was like, okay, cool, I'll come back and he'll like probably give me the same kind of notes. But like he had a full page, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, this dude cares. That's awesome. And that gave me such a different perspective of like, okay, maybe where I'm at isn't as good as where I could be,
Yeah.
And that kind of started getting me out of the box of like, all right, maybe I need to leave Maryland to like get better at this. And like, Matt told me like, you keep coming up here. I'll keep, you keep coming up, keep helping, keep putting the work in, I'll throw you a bone when I can. And, that's kind of what I just kept doing. Like if you look at like all the H2O shows from like late 2022 into 2023, like I'm up there on crew for like every show. Like I was like, I don't care. I'm making the drive up here. I'm going to come up here for every fucking show. I'm going to help out. Like, cause that was where I wanted to be. Like the first time I was in the H2O Center, I was like, I looked around and I was like, shit, this place has a vibe and an aura. And then I was there for the show and I was like, nah, this is where I want to wrestle. Like I want to wrestle here. So like whatever I have to do to be welcomed here and like, have my hard work like shown, like that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put all my time and energy into this place. But yeah, like like I said, every one of those Monday shows, like he would just help me and like break stuff down. I come up to train when I could, and it was just like he helped me the most out of anybody.
Probably seeing that you're hungry and you're willing to earn your stripes. So I mean that goes a long way. A lot of people, I feel like they kind of want to be hot shotted to a spot and feel like they deserve something or whatever. But when you come in, you break in the right way, no one can take that away from you. So
yeah, it's wrestling is a very hurry up and wait sort of game. And like I think that hard work is, people talk about hard work a lot, but I don't know if they actually like do hard work. But I'm not them and I'm not in their life, so I don't know what kind of hard work they're doing. But like, you see who's there doing it and what level they're doing it at when they're on shows and how they operate on shows. So like
there's levels. And you can tell. Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to see who's doing it and who isn't.
So you would be considered what, I guess some would say early on still in your career. Do you feel like things have been moving faster than you expected?
Yeah, way faster. Like way faster. Like I'm finding out from like when people find out like I'm only like a few years in, like cuz I debuted in January of 2022. So like, I'm creeping up on like a 4-year career right now. And I've already been able to do like so much cool shit and be in like some of the top deathmatch companies, in the US. And like, cause that's like, I can do regular wrestling. I enjoy regular wrestling, but like, I really love the art of deathmatch wrestling. So that's where
that's your jam, right?
Yeah. And that's where my focus is. And that's kind of what I'm aiming at. But I really feel like, oh my bad, I kind of went off on a tangent there. But yeah, dude, like I'm just trying to focus on being the best version of me that I can. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it definitely blew, like you're saying, it blew my mind when I found out how many years you've been in. I was like, what? Like, just because of how, like, you're all over the place. And like you said, you don't see that early on in your career. It takes some time, or, I guess it's about, like you said, you put in the work. So that it comes back,
Yeah. And like, that's the thing. I get imposter syndrome like hard sometimes because I'm like,
same.
I don't know how the fuck I'm here already. I don't know how I'm being seen this way. Like, because in training in Maryland, I had a lot of like negative coming in and very little positive coming out. That's the best way to look at it. And where I'm at now, I'm like, all right, I'm getting so much positive coming in, but like, I'm still being negative about like my own work. And I'm like, nah, you're full of shit.
You're not believing what they're telling you. You're like, no, it should. That's not right.
Yeah. And like, I'm honestly, dude, I'm my own biggest hater when it comes to shit. And like, I really am trying to get better about that and just give myself a little more grace and kind of like, no, you have worked hard. No, you have gotten where you are from, just being you and working and doing your thing. So like, it's a learning process for me too. And honestly, I don't think if it wasn't for wrestling, I would have like a positive like mindset about my ability to work and like my value as a human, which is like a really crazy thing to like think out loud. But me and my therapist talk about this a lot.
Because being able to have the experience as a wrestler, it kind of like it gives you a different, I guess, outlook on things, I guess, versus being in a shell or in a bubble, I guess, is where I guess I'm going, maybe.
Yeah. It's like it like there is a very like tight box you can get put in as like a human being, like just in the world, right? Like there's so much stuff going on that's negative around you. You're always looking at like social media, seeing these people that are better than you when they're not. Like there's all these perceptions of reality, right? That continuously make us think negative thoughts about ourselves. And like, we don't need to be so hurtful and harmful to ourselves. I feel like, I'm a big softy when it comes to this kind of shit, but like, I'm very like, I'm very adamant about people having the ability to feel good about themselves and feel good about the work they've done. Even if it's like, you just woke up today and like, fucking made yourself some breakfast and did something kind of productive. Like, be proud of just that. Be proud of being around and, existing, So when like my negative thoughts come in and I get into like a bad place, like I have like a visual representation of my hard work to be like, no, you are of value. You do matter. And you just getting up today is important. That's kind of where I'm at. And like, that's another reason why I keep some of these things on my wall here. Like,
reminder.
I have my 3 biggest achievements right behind me to remind myself when I'm doing work. Like, nah, man, like you did all those things. Fucking be proud of yourself. Fucking give yourself some grace, be cool, and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. And sometimes, like you even said, like, just getting up or doing something small, like the small wins sometimes, or what gets you, big wins. So.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Recently, you competed in CZW's Tarp of Death. That's where we first met. Right. What was that experience like for you? Not meeting me, but competing in the Tarp of Death.
The Tarp, man. There's gonna be a dark side of the ring on the Tarp. I swear to God.
Yes,
it was wild. I had the most fun with it when I realized that like this is gonna be a shit show. That's where I hit the wall. I was like everyone's talking about what they're gonna do, and like this is no shame to anybody because everybody processes matches and they think. They work themselves through a match their own way. But when I saw what was going on and I saw the amount of people and I saw people calling
this is going this way as
planned. Yeah, I'm like this is just like we're all going to be in the thick of it, bro. That's all it's going to be. I kind of like looked at a couple people and I was like, all right, they're calling spots. do you guys want to call spots? And we all were like, no. like what?
No.
How are we gonna call anything? Then like that was before we saw what the tarp was turning into.
Oh my god!
And then
So bad.
It was pretty nuts, right? So we ended up going I just wanted to go out to go look at it. And it was like me and like Handyman and Junior. We were all looking at shit, and we were just kind of like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to do anything. like anyone who called a spot screwed. Because there's no room. Like it was like
about
Handyman,
this much water on the top.
Oh, this is before it started raining.
Okay.
So like Handyman did a great job of creating like a visual like a masterpiece. Like I'm 100% putting him over on that. Like when I saw how he put everything together, he put like all the big shit and the awful shit like towards the center, and it was like rings of hell to like get from there in. And it was like, all right, tubes on the outside, then weapons, then weapons, then weapons, then weapons. And it was just super cool how he set it up. I really, really enjoyed that. But
I know, like Mickey Knuckles, she was referring to it as Hunger Games, Deathmatch Hunger Games is what she was calling it. I was like, as soon as she said that, I was like, yeah,
it clicks immediately. You're like, yup, that's 100% what that is. So, I do a little walk around, and like while I'm looking around, there's some fans that are like coming up and talking to me. I think you even came up to me at that point too, when I was just surveying like the field, and I'm just like, yeah, nah. We're gonna have to break everything and then run spots. Like that's what I was thinking. So I go in the back and I'm like, hey, anyone who called like a spot early, you want to go look at the tarp. You want to go look at it. And because also I don't want anyone to go out there with the mindset of I'm gonna do this, then see that there isn't the space to do it and then panic, because that's like everyone was there to get noticed, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm not a vet by any means at all, but I understand the idea of not letting anyone feel left out or anyone feel stupid in an opportunity they're given to shine, right? So that was my main focus. And like, you know, I went to the other vets that were back there that were in the match, like Gabby Gilbert and Brendan Watts, and I was like, hey, so this is what's going on out there, and this is what's going on back here. Can we talk to the kids and figure out how to make everyone happy? Because I don't think they're going to be able to do what they want. But like, I want them to be able to do what they want, but we definitely have to like break some shit first before we get anywhere. Because there were like eliminations planned and like all this other stuff. So it ended up getting to a point where we were like, all right, everybody, like this is what we got to do. And then we got there, and then the match was just like a violent cacophony of just complete mayhem, which is what like I don't think IWTV like was able to capture that chaos. Nothing on them. It was just there's way too much going on. Like fucking I Love Gary, and he tried to he did his absolute supreme best. That man is a wizard of the camera. But there was just way too much going on.
So many variables go into that night or that day.
So many, and like most of the angles we have are like from like fan footage because there were so many people filming stuff. But like nothing will capture what that felt like in the moment. You know, like that was definitely like if there's another tarp, you gotta go inside the circle and watch the shit because it was absurd. Like between the crowd just wanting all of us to fucking gut each other, to not knowing what I was getting hit with at any given moment, like having to keep my head on a swivel. Like I've been in like legit big like group brawls before, like in like shoot bar fights and like crew versus crew fucking like fist fights and shit. And like that took me back to like my teenage years of being in those environments, and I'm like, man, this is fucking cool. Straight up.
It's
like,
all out anarchy.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, it was just straight up fucking, like, it was legitimate chaos. And I'm like, yeah, I've never done anything this fucking wild before. Like, this was a really cool experience. And, you know, it got my foot in the door at CZW. Like, the first time I was actually in CZW, I was doing camera work. Like, was it TOD 19 was the first deathmatch tournament I was a camera person for. And that was a wild experience. It's where I met a lot of the guys actually that I know now from that. Like, it's where I met like Otis and like Insane Lane, and it's where I met Mickey. Like, I met a lot of these people there. They may not remember because it was so long ago, but like, yeah, that was a wild experience. So to go from doing camera work for them like one time to being in Tarp to now, like, you know, coming up in a couple weeks, I'm gonna be fighting on a battleship for them. Like, when that got announced, I was like, that was cool as shit. Oh yeah, the Hoochie tour for October. It's going to be oh man, that drive from Michigan to Massachusetts back to Maryland in 3 days is going to be rough.
Yeah, that's going to be gnarly.
Yeah. Especially like JJ the first night, then Otis the next night, and then I gotta be in a 4-on-4 hardcore match. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a nasty. Like you said, what'd you call it? The what for October?
Oh, the Hoochie tour of October.
The Hoochie tour of October. Yeah. So I mean, I personally, my brother had asked me, so who do you think's gonna win Tarp? I was like, I'm going with JB.
Yeah. A lot of people thought I was going to, which was weird.
Yeah. Wasn't your year this year. Maybe next year. But I was also thinking, you know, as quickly as everything's came at you, you know, maybe we can push for TOD 23 next year and get you in the tournament.
That's honestly, dude, that's the goal. Like, because like my mindset isn't I want to get to TV. It's I want to win a deathmatch tournament. That's the only goal I have at the moment. Like, because I've crushed every other goal I've had. Like, I said a year and a half ago that I wanted to wrestle for ICW, and I wrestled for ICW. My new goal is to wrestle for GCW one of these days, which, you know, it's a possibility. It could happen. Who knows? And then, so that's goal. And then the major goal is just perfect my craft, to get better at wrestling, get better at like what I'm doing, raise my name up, and win a deathmatch tournament, like a major one. Like, you know, like the Deathmatch Cup coming up, that's a good stepping stone. Like, if I can win the Deathmatch Cup, then that'll put my name in the conversation for bigger tournaments. So that's my mindset going into everything. Like, deathmatch tournament win. That's all I fucking want. That's all I'm focused on. So next 5 years, let's see what happens.
You've been checking a lot off of the bucket list recently. Is there a moment that stands out the most to you?
1,000 carpet strips, like 100%, is like
Dr. Redacted.
Yeah. Well, no, the one with Neil. Me and Neil.
Okay.
That one. Yeah. So that
was that not was that not 1,000 with Redacted?
That was 500.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and Redacted were 500 because it was there were more involved because we did like center blocks and carpet strips. So like the idea of like, so a carpet strip slaughter match, because there's stips for both. Carpet strip slaughter is fucking carpet strips, center blocks, steel chairs, gusset plates. Though that's for that match. For carpet strip supremacy, which was 1,000, it was all carpet strips. I think there was a steel chair involved, but like it was all strips. Like all of our color was from strips. All of everything strips. That's it. So those are I know sometimes people don't know the difference, and like I've had to create it. So I'm like, these are the differences.
You're the carpet strip master.
Yeah, I'm the Prince of Strips for a reason. A real POS. But yeah, with Neil, that was cool because I was like, I had this idea in my head, and I got in the ring and I looked around and I was like, this is exactly how I pictured this. This is fucking cool. Then the energy of the match the whole night was like, people thought I was winning the Danny Havoc hardcore title that night. Like, I didn't do it, but knowing that crowd thought I was going to and cared enough about me to win it, I was like, this is like honestly the most rewarding moment I've ever had.
All you could ever want, right?
Yeah, and I was like, because, you know, there were talks after the fact, maybe I should have went over, and I don't think I should have. I was like, I won so much in defeat that like I didn't have to win.
It kind of builds you up for the when you do get that. Yeah,
exactly. I was like, because that was my Neil said that was like my stress test for deathmatch wrestling, because he was like, that was probably one of the most painful things you've ever had to do for as long as you had to do it. It was like 20 some minutes of just falling on nails constantly. So I'm like, if I can do this, I can do anything, you know? Like, I'm willing to put my body through whatever I have to in order to, you know, put on a good show. So that was definitely like number one best feeling. And then I think like 2 and 3 would be like when Matt told me I was going to be the first singles match the Killdozer had at H2O when he was doing the Killdozer gimmick. And that was my first death match ever. And I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, Matt Tremont's my first fucking death match. Like,
there's your bone. There's your bone.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? This is awesome. Like, and it was cool as shit too, because like I already had a match plan for that show. And then he just texted me out of nowhere, and he was like, hey man, some plans changed and I need a promo from you, yada yada yada. And I was like, for what? And he's like, me and you. And I'm like, what? All right, cool, let's go. And then I was like, can I bleed? And he's like, oh yeah, we're doing a death match. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Fuck yeah.
So like that was my first time bleeding, first time taking a gussy, like all that shit. I was like, let's go. And that was a huge feeling of achievement. And then me and Redacted is like number 3. Those are like my top 3 moments. Like,
and that was your first time in the chains, right?
Very first time in the chains, because all 3 of those moments are like, I actually can capture those emotions in a bottle and be like, these are all from hard work and persistence and sticking with what I want. And like, you know, I already kind of had the mindset of like getting sober. I felt like, all right, I feel like I can do anything. Then those 3 moments in wrestling showed me that I can do anything. And to me, that's like a really empowering and important ability to feel that I have. And it's something that I wish everyone could like literally experience, because it makes us as humans feel way more valuable and more important than we might give ourselves credit for, when we see, like, with enough determination and hard work, like what we are capable of. Like, we're capable of so fucking much. It's just we have to get over our own doubts to get there. And anytime I feel doubt, I look at those and I'm like, shit, nah, I did my thing. I got there. I can get wherever I want as long as I keep working. So,
like you said, those 3 moments are kind of like you could almost like bottle each one up and kind of tap into it at any moment. Like, oh, I remember what that felt like at each one of those, you know? And I think that, you know, of course, after that match with Redacted, I know the crowd was giving you the please come back chant. So, you know, they definitely want to see you back there soon.
That was the first time I've ever gotten that chant.
Really?
And dude, I like, no shot, I almost cried in the fucking ring. I'm not lying.
Awesome.
I was like I had gotten my ass beat, and then like I was in a lot of pain after that one, because I took some hard bumps in the fucking strips.
He was giving it to you.
Oh yeah, no, he beat me in the right way, man. And like I'll you know, I appreciate and love that dude for that. So when I was laying there and I was getting up and I was like, oh man, like I'm hurting. And then I started hearing the please come back. I was like, oh no. And then it started getting louder and I'm like, oh fuck. All right, keep it together. And then I just like looked like, because you see me look at the camera and I'm starting to smile and I'm like, these motherfuckers are gonna make me cry.
Yeah, I see, you could see it was a raw moment for you. Yeah.
It was very raw, because like the pop I got coming out originally, I was not anticipating that. Yep. From what Hammer told me, even like, you know, the back was like, oh shit, when they like heard the pop I got, and that got me right in the zone. Like, as soon as I heard that,
you were again doing a lot to promote that. You were, I remember you putting in a lot. You know, hey, you were building the carpet strips up. You were coming in full force. You know, so it's like,
oh yeah,
people love that shit. And like I said, the DIY, the little things like that stuff pays off. For sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, I want to bring that to everything that I do, because like if I can do that for the chains, I can do that for Horror Slam, I can do it for Focus, I can do it for all these companies. So like I think more and more people are starting to see that like I have value to bring, and that you just give me a chance, dude. I'll fucking run with it,
Yeah.
But yeah, that moment in the chains was just like it was a very rewarding moment, which is one I needed because I had a couple matches that led up to it, like over the summer that I like didn't feel very good about, and I was definitely like in my head. And that match definitely took me like right out of that, and I was like, all right, cool, I can fucking take on the world, let's go.
Right where I need to be. Yeah.
I needed a mental pep talk for myself.
So what's the mindset going into a match? Like you said, the tournament that you have coming up, you have someone as unpredictable as JJ Allen. Let me go ahead and pull this up again.
Oh yeah.
Of course, like you said, you have the Otis Kogar match coming up as well. Let's go ahead and get this here.
So man, my mindset for JJ is just to like be prepared for literally whatever the fuck he throws at me. Because oh man, there's a like an old what is it? It's like old Japanese proverb, like a samurai thing about like you can be the most skilled swordsman and understand how to move from every direction except for someone who doesn't know how to be a swordsman. Like, so the whole idea is like the unpredictability is the most dangerous aspect of what we do, right? So like if I understand sword combat and someone else understands sword combat, then it's just a game of chess. But if you're throwing that fucking thing, I got nothing to prepare for it, bro. I'm fucked. So that's how I'm going in with JJ. I'm like, I just got to pay attention to where he's going, what he's doing, and just like fucking be prepared for whatever insanity comes my way. But like, I'm getting into round 2. I've never made it to a round 2 of a tournament. I've been in 4, and I've always been out first round. So this time I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. I'm doing whatever the fuck I need to get to round 2. That's my mindset going in. It's like,
I think it also can play in your side too. Like, JJ, you've seen him at TOD and a lot of other these, bigger places, and you can, kind of study him a little bit more than maybe they can study you. So maybe the unpredictability that you might bring to it might be, what gains the edge in the match, and it takes his ass out.
It could be the wild greenhorn is always the like variable, like.
Yeah.
I do know that it's indoors, so he can't drive a car at me. So
there you go.
I'm good there.
One of his options out of his repertoire,
Yeah, if he had one, I'd go out and siphon the gas out of that motherfucker.
Yeah, good old the most recent hook dick is now parked down at the POR compound. We've seen it at the most recent one. There's like 3 or 4 of them down there now.
That's dope. Dude, when he did that at TOD, I was so anxious because the car parked right next to my fucking car. And I'm just sitting there like, don't fucking explode.
Nothing go wrong. Nothing.
Don't explode. Like I saw the explosion and then I was like, all right, that's cool. And then I saw where it parked and I was like, fuck. I went right to my car and I was like, yeah, like you might be able to see me on the feed. Like I'm right there. Cause I'm like, yo, if shit starts going south and they can't get this car to like stop being on fire, I'm moving my fucking car. Like fuck all the way off.
So you also have another big match coming up that I just pulled up. We'll pull it up one more time against Otis. Yeah, a runner-up in this year's TOD. That's going to be no easy walk in the park either.
Nah, man, that's a big fucking one for me because I've wanted to work the Koger brothers like pretty much since I met them. So getting a shot at Otis is like that's a big fucking deal too because like he's on an amazing run right now. Like his TOS final with Matt was fucking brutal. I know the guy's like legacy that he's like put into deathmatch wrestling, like the blunt force trauma matches that he is like known for. My mindset going in with him is just like fucking I'm gonna have to take some fucking brutal shit and I'm gonna have to just find a way to fight through it and get that fighting spirit up. Because it's going to be nasty, But on my side of it, I did compete in the first ever deathmatch in Focus Pro history, so I have that under my belt, and I think they've had 2 since, so this might be the 3rd one.
And that's in Pennsylvania.
That's in Boston.
Oh, okay.
Well, like right outside Boston, it's like Braintree, Massachusetts.
Okay.
But yeah, like I made a statement with the first one. Now I want to like with this one, I really want to like, slam my name into the legacy of this company and deathmatch wrestling in Boston.
Will that be your first time locking up with JJ and Otis?
Yeah, this is the first time ever in both situations. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm very much looking forward to starting to work like the bigger known names. Like this year, like I haven't been wrestling as much, but like the names I have wrestled are like absurd. like I wrestled I wrestled Matt back in February, Neil Diamond Cutter like in March. I wrestled against Bam and Mouse earlier in the year. Me and Nick Gage during the summer. Me and Redacted. I fought MV Young was it 2 weeks ago? Now I got like JJ, and then I got
it almost doesn't
Otis.
seem, it's almost surreal, right? Like that all that's happened that quick.
Yeah, like it's another one of those things that makes me feel like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, but it's also really fucking cool because like I keep telling myself that like I'm getting these opportunities because I'm working hard. So I gotta go into all these opportunities with the mindset of you worked hard, just keep working hard, and like I'm gonna keep getting these opportunities. I'm gonna keep working people who will help elevate me. Because like end of the day, I really just want to learn from these people and get better at what I do. And also like it's a fight that I'm not 100% confident I can win, but like, man, I can really show that I can push through and give it my fucking all. And there was a saying I used to have like early in the year of win, lose, or draw, you're gonna know I gave it my all. So that's all I can do in these situations. But yeah, it's surreal getting to work like names now. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's really dope. So you're returning to CZW, and I'll pull this up for the last time, but that top one there. Let's talk about that. Like, so if I'm right, this is going to be on a battleship you guys are going to be fighting on?
Yeah, it's like fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
like wrestling's taking me some wild places, but like
I thought it was just like the poster, and I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, it's actually going to be on the battleship? Like, that's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm on a fucking boat. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm on a boat.
Yeah, dude. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, fuck. Because, like, they hit me up, and they're like, you free on the 18th? And I'm like, yeah. And then, like, the next day, I see a graphic pop up, and it's, like, Battleship, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who I'm working yet. I'm sure that'll come out shortly. But, like, yeah, like, the talent announced already. It's, like, I know, was it Jimmy Lloyd and Aaron Ash are doing, like, a no-rope barbed wire. Which no rope barbed wire on a fucking battleship? What the fuck? That's cool.
That's dope.
But then like people that have been announced so far is like Schlack, me, Eric Ryan, Handyman, Jimmy Controversy, and Nico Gray. So far that's who's been announced. So we'll see like what's going on. I am very hopeful that I get to work either Eric Ryan or Schlack, but we'll see what happens.
Nice.
It'd be a good time for me on the old shipperoo.
welcome to the battleship moment.
Yeah, right. It's like, yeah, cool. Schlack, kill me before I have to have this crazy drive next week.
I don't know if you want to take this, but maybe a little like I sunk your battleship type of moment in a promo. There, you can. That's a little character. You could like
yeah. I got an idea for sure. I just got to film it, but like I got a pretty silly idea.
Hell yeah.
Because and that's another thing, man. Is like I always try to like make my promos like a little silly, even though they're like serious at times. But like I don't know. I've people have told me that like they enjoy them the way I love them. So I gotta just
you have your own style. You have your own style, your own thing, and it sets you apart, man. So I would just keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I want to make sure I do what I can to stand out in the lineup.
Yeah. Yep. So how's it felt to be a part of the rebirth of, let's say CZW? Because, there were some down years, some dark years, but within the past 3-4 years, they've kind of made a resurgence. I feel like this, past TOD 22 was an example of that. Like everyone seemed to come out for that and support. We all were there through one of the craziest wrestling experiences I've ever had, as a fan or just watching it. in general. I don't even know really how I explain it. Primal or some of the words like
that's definitely a good word for it.
Yeah,
for sure.
gladiator-esque. Like,
yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Has that meant something to you to be now? Like you said, you just got the call to come to the battleship and fight. So
Yeah, it's definitely been really cool to like watch because living in Maryland, like we had like, the Limelight years, which, those guys worked their asses off.
Yeah.
And they're, I'll say this, they may not have had the best like turnouts for those shows, but those guys worked so fucking hard. They need to be acknowledged for the hard work that they put in.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like those guys carried the company for a while. And I know for a while there was like, or we're not doing death matches, or if we do, they're only going to be on special shows. But now that they're kind of, okay, we need to bring these back, and they're reaching out to younger talent like myself and others to kind of like bring in the new wave along with the vets and the guys that like, paved the way for us, is like a really cool thing to be a part of. And yeah, like you said, TOD was like primal this year. Like there's no other way to like describe it. It was a visual and visceral like masterpiece. Like hands down.
It lives rent free in my head.
Yeah, like the rain, the lightning, the thunder, the fucking moat of blood for the main, like literally every part of it. I was like, this is a crazy TOD, like just top to bottom. And like it is crazy because I went from like tape trading TODs when I was a teenager to now fucking being on a TOD like in the Tarp, and then now like I'm getting to like wrestle for CZW, which was something I didn't think was going to be a plausible thing either. So it's cool to be a part of this whole like thing. Like when I saw the Battleship one, I was just like, I honestly, like, if you time traveled to like 15 years ago and you were like, hey, little JB, like you're gonna be on a fucking CZW poster one day, I'd be like, yeah, go fuck yourself, fucking weird old man.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. But it's super fucking cool, man.
We're here
cool.
now. We're here
Yeah,
now.
We're here now.
Yeah.
Life is a flat circle, man. I'll tell you.
So these are going to be two of Lurch's demands. One is we need to see JB Anderson at a POR show.
Oh yeah.
What would that mean to get that opportunity? You're gonna have JJ. You're gonna have JJ 101. So maybe you can plant a little bug into his ear and say we need to see JB down in the compound.
I did talk to Jesse Daniels about coming down sometime, so it's in the cards. It's just it's a timing thing. That's it. Because there's been times where I'm like, all right, I'm down. Like I'm gonna come down there, and then like I'm booked on something. So it's like I'm very old school with like I honor my first booking I get. So like even if it sucks,
like, your word is your bond. Though,
my word is my bond, and like I've worked very hard to protect that that reputation. That I am very like man of my word when it comes to wrestling. So like it's helped to show that I'm reliable. You can trust me. And if you get to me first, you get to me first. I might, if it's a really good opportunity, I will talk to the person and be like, hey, man.
Like, come
on. Like any of the local, like Maryland indies I work for, if I was like, hey, man, I got a call to GCW, they would be like, run for the fucking hills. You're good, you know? So, like, they understand. One I used to work for wouldn't have. But that's water under the bridge. But yeah, no, I definitely intend to get to POR. Like I've had so many people say good things about it that like I gotta go down there.
Yeah, we just started making it out there this year. I'm from Maryland. I'm from Baltimore, but I live in West Virginia, the Eastern Panhandle area.
Okay.
So it's about an hour or so away from me where they run their shows at. And
it's like an hour and a half for me, I think. Like about an hour and a half.
Yeah, and they also ran a show in Winchester this year that was at a hemp farm that was sick. Inside. So I don't know if maybe JJ or those guys are planning to do like, maybe the winter time, they're going to be running inside there.
Okay.
Keep going for the area. So Yeah, that'd be dope to catch you at one of those. Because I went to one this year. I was like, oh, this is close enough to me. Kind of like you said, like you're traveling up to New Jersey to go catch shows for H2O. Like there's not that much around here. Like Morgantown, yeah, but that's like 2.5 hours, So it's like hour away. Hey, I'll go every month. So
although you should definitely make it out to Morgantown for those Negative Outlook shows.
I've been eyeing them. Yeah, that's the one I've been seeing. It's no ring, right?
It's no ring, yeah. I was on my first one of those a few weeks ago with MV Young, and it's like the crowd's dope, town's dope, vibes dope. Like I don't get to do no rings often, so when I do, I'm like I really fucking enjoy the environment. Like it's same deal like with TOD or Tarp of Death. It's just chaos and it's just raw. It's you can't do anything else but be raw.
So I would love to experience that.
Yeah, November 15th is the next one.
Okay.
I think it's at one. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the same venue. It's not announced yet, but I'm going to be on it. So please come. It'll be a fun time.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, this will drop probably the end of October, so maybe it'll be out by then. So
okay, sweet.
The other Lurch's demand is I was doing some research last night, some deep dive in some wrestling Nardwuar, as I like to call it, I guess.
Oh, I love Nardwuar. So like you already hit a sweet point for me.
So I was like, man, I've just, I've been paying attention to what you're doing. And I like to I guess fantasy book in my head, like where would you fit in at? Where would you wouldn't fit in at? WDWA came up. So I started looking up your matches last night, and then the first match came up was you versus Ty Awesome. I was like, no shit.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it was a different owner that you were working for at that time. Was it a guy named Juan that was the owner at that time, or was it Gavin?
No, this was pre-Gavin. So Gavin was I think doing commentary and some back of house stuff. But yeah, it was he was the main booker at the time.
Okay. Yeah, because I know they're like the local family friendly to me, and we go to them pretty often. My kids love all the wrestlers there. I think that you would do really well there, especially with the I know you, like you said, deathmatch is your thing, but the family friendly side of things, like I think that you would do really well in that environment. But I was like, no shit, he's already been out here. But I think that was still early in your career, and things look like so much. I think what Gavin's done with the place, it's so much different now from like I guess later videos or older videos that I've seen.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people actually reach out to me about going back there, and I've always told them, I was like, if Gavin finds a place for me there and something I can do, I'd love to. Like they book a couple of my friends that are down there, like Steve Fuerte, me and him tagged for a little while. Both started training at the same time. Like he's a good buddy of mine. They use him regularly. Same with like Luke Johnson.
They're a tag team.
Austin Kingsley, me and him go way back. So yeah, there's a lot of like people I know that are there. Again, it's a timing thing, and it's a how can we benefit each other sort of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah,
kind of like you were saying, not just go there to have a booking just to leave. Like make it mean a little bit more, or have some more longevity to it too, right?
Yeah, and like I love doing family friendly stuff because like kids are so much fun to work. Like it's funny. So like, and if I'm a baby face or a heel, like I know how to do it. Like EWA is family friendly, so I understand how to work there. AWA is family friendly. Like MCW made us all do birthday matches, like for birthday parties, like before we even got into an official ring. So or used on like a major like show capacity. So, like, that's where I cut my teeth a lot, is working in front of kids. So, because their mindset was, if you can't get kids invested, you can't get anyone invested. And I think that's, like, very true. Like, the more and more I do this, like, they're 100% right on that aspect. But, yeah, dude, I would totally go back to WDWA if something came up that I could fit into. But that match with Ty, I think, was, like, my 7th or 8th indie match.
Really?
Actually, hold on. I keep a list of all my matches. I can tell you which one it was. Let's see.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had him on the bingo hall. He's actually one of the first people that I ever asked to do an interview with.
Really?
Yeah. I started going to indie shows again about a year ago. WDWA was the one we went to, and we've been going with them ever since. And yeah, man, it's been interesting to see all the connections and how, like getting to see how the indies are now and how people are connect. Like I said, I wouldn't expect it to you have already locked up with a lot of these guys that I know out this way, but they're
Right.
they travel all over the place too. I know Ty's doing stuff with NWA right now.
Yeah, like the list of people I've worked like early on was like kind of crazy. But like so I just looked it up. So me and Ty was my 25th match that I ever had, but 10th match in like an indie company like outside of MCW.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he like I worked him at one point. Like I've worked like me and Miles Hawkins have wrestled before. I've wrestled Brendan Scott. Like I'm trying to think who else. Like, I've wrestled a lot of people in my first 2 years. I tagged with oh fuck, the guy that used to be the announcer for oh, why am I blanking on his name? He runs Three Legacies out in PA.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I tagged with him one time for a Voltage show. That was just super fucking. It was such a weird experience because it was like a private party show, but it was it Voltage, they do like a thing where they like rent out like the ring and they do stuff for like private events. So I was under the impression that it was supposed to be like an indoor thing from what I heard, but it was outside and it was in someone's like front yard of their like mansion. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Then I get there and find out that I'm tagging with Rodriguez, and I'm like laughing because I'm like, what the fuck's happening here? And then in the back of my head, I'm like, I've never had a backyard wrestling match before, and the first one I have is with an ex WWE guy.
Right, like
what the fuck? Cool, all right.
Yeah,
but
roll with it.
Yeah, roll with it. It was fine. It was just hot as shit. That's the only downside to it. But the whole experience was fucking cool. But yeah, man, like I'm very thankful for the amount of people I've been able to like share the ring with over the years. And that's the thing. It's only 3. Like, yeah. I think me and Otis is going to be like my 150th match if my math is correct. Yeah.
Nice. So we've talked about it a little bit earlier, and you've mentioned it. For fans who may not know, you're straight edge. Yeah. So has that always been a part of your life? I know you mentioned that you used to smoke, you used to drink. Why did you make that decision later on in your life?
It was more of like a needed to for survival sort of deal.
Okay, you were going pretty hard.
Oh yeah, dude. At my worst with drinking, because like the easiest way to put this in a tiny box is my drinking has always stemmed from a negative, right? I've never been able to like associate alcohol with something fun or positive, right? Because like I think I was 14 like the first time I drank alcohol, and it was after like fighting with my parents over something. I snuck out of the house, went to a house party that I was way too young to fucking be at, got drunk, felt like shit. Then I was like, okay, cool. Well, like, I'm going to do that again because, like, I did it out of, like, a bad place in my head. Then realized the road that was taking me down, straight edge through being, like, I think, like, 15 to, like, 22, because I was like, all right, I already have, like, a bad connection to this shit. So, like, if I continue down this road, I don't know where I'm going to go. So I was straight edge for my own safety as a teenager. Then I had like a tiny little bit of a mental breakdown, like in my, like around 22, because like a bunch of just bad shit happened to me, like one after the other. And I just kind of snapped and like got into drinking. And then there were like high points and low points where like I was able to control it. And then like, also finding out later in life I have ADHD. It's like not good for like people with addictive issues, like from what I'm learning now.
I think I'm getting some of those issues too. Realizing I'm ADHD and definitely have addictive personality. So I'm like glad I never got into like anything hard or anything like that, because that would have been a bad route.
Right. Like, and I, you kind of get in like these loops, right? So At my worst, I was definitely like a bottle of, what was it? I would drink like a bottle of whiskey a night, and that would be after drinking at the bar I worked at, then going to a bar after my bar closed, being there till closing, and then basically drinking until the sun came up and I'd sleep all day. That was my routine for like 3 years. And like I felt like shit. I felt terrible all the fucking time. And then I got in like probably like the darkest place mentally that I've been in a long time. And I was like, if I don't stop this now, like I'm not gonna be here anymore. That was kind of my mindset. So I was like, I either need to get sober or I need to not be here anymore. That was where I was. I was at that breaking point. So I
kind of seeing where it was heading.
Yeah, I knew where it was going, and I was like tired of waking up feeling like shit all the time, and like, you know, I'm pretty open about like my story with, you know, overcoming addiction and shit, because like I know a lot of people suffer with it, and you know, it's something that I want people to know that like you're not alone with, and you know, you're not a failure for being in that place for so long. Like it's hard. Life isn't easy, and you know, there's highs and lows for all of us, man, and you just got to figure out a way to like really like push through and get there, because your temporary problem is not permanent, you know. So when I started getting sober, like the first 3 months were fucking terrible. I didn't go through a program. I just stopped cold turkey, and I was like, you know, either I'm going to live through, and like, not to get dark on the show, but I was like, I'm either gonna live through withdrawals or I won't, and then I'll get what I want anyway. So that was where my brain was. Like, it was not it was not a healthy place, man, not a healthy place. But I made it through it, and I got through it, and I'm really thankful I fucking did. Then, you know, I started reconnecting with some of the people that, you know, I hadn't been around in a while, and I was like, hey, like, you know, I know we haven't talked in a while, but like, you know, I'm trying to like come hang out. Is that cool? Like, I'm going through like, you know, this journey of like getting sober and shit. So I was starting to hang out with a bunch of my old straight edge friends again. And, you know, because like we were tight still, but like not like I was coming out all the time, because like I didn't want to drink in front of them and, you know,
make it awkward. So,
I didn't want to make it awkward. And so like we started hanging out more, we started doing more shit, and then like one of my buddies who we joke around is like a straight edge elder, like re-exed me up at an Earth Crisis show, and he's like, hey man, you're straight edge again, so don't fuck up. And I'm like, okay. and because I already told him about it. I was like, man, like I need like, because this is like probably 6 months into being sober, and I'm starting to like get like, you know, really bad like mental like gymnastics of like, okay, well I can control it now, so maybe I can go back. And then like the scrutiny I feel like I would have had for like being like, all right, I'm sober and now I'm not anymore, isn't the same brotherhood and camaraderie as if like I got back to being straight edge and then having people like see me back out of it, you know. Like I had a better support network, I felt, from the people that I consider family, through like the straight edge community and shit. So when I was like, all right, I'm like, this is me, like 100% like I'm back in, you know, there's the saying of, if you're not now, you never were. So it was like the whole breaking edge when I was in my 20s, like out the window. And now it's like, all right, well, I'm straight edge now more because of the brotherhood, the community, and the fact that like I think I need something like this strong to survive and stick with this. And you know, 8 years later, I'm still here, still kicking, still straight edge. I ain't taking no Tylenol.
We heard about Tylenol recently.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
So I recently had Dredd in the bingo hall, and he's also straight edge. Do you think that mindset affects how you guys approach wrestling?
I've had a lot of people who wonder how straight edge deathmatch wrestlers are capable of doing what we do, and like those guys have definitely done like way more violent shit than I have, and I'm like, damn, dude. And I've done my share of it too, but like I think it's, we don't have anything to fall back on, when we're in pain. So I think that there's nothing to like cloud what we're doing, right? So like I feel for myself, I can't speak for them, but I feel for myself like I am so aware of what I'm about to do that it hypes me up to do it more. Because I don't know, I kind of look at it the same way as when I was like going to hardcore shows and I'd get in like a pit and I'm like, dude, I know I'm gonna get my shit rocked a couple times in here, but I don't care because I want to go hard too.
Yeah.
So that's how
that's like your release to get that, you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
because that's also what I've heard is like the, you know, I guess a straight edge wrestler is when you're going into the mindset of I'm about to go through all this violence. That's your, I don't want to say drug, but like that's the reward, I guess, because you guys that's what you're getting out of it. I guess I don't know, but I guess I'm mixing my words up. But.
no, it's like that. I mean, it's getting the demons out.
Yeah,
That is the best way to put it. It's like, because you know, there's so much fucking bullshit in the world, dude, and it's so stressful. Like every avenue. So when I was younger, any bad thing that was going on in the world, when I was at a hardcore show and I got in that pit for a few minutes to just release, right, and feel completely lawless for a minute before I go back into the rest of the world, that element is how I feel when I do a deathmatch. It's the same thing. It's like, whatever's going on outside those doors doesn't matter in here, you know, because this is where we all go to escape. And when I'm in the ring, and when I go in the ring and I start getting fucking violent and the people are responding to the violence, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, this is where I get to be lawless for 15 minutes before I go outside these doors and face the world again. So, like, that shit's important. And that, honestly, is better than any drug or alcohol that I could possibly put in my body.
Yeah, I know you're a big music guy, so I've seen the band Hell Yeah a bunch of times. So Chad Gray, he says that almost at every concert, which is basically check your problems, check your bullshit at the door, because guess what? It's still going to be there for you when you leave. So fucking enjoy this shit right now, and you know, let it out, you know, let it go. You know? So
yeah, and like, I mean, I'm a big advocate for people using their platforms to promote whatever they need to. And it's good for like bringing awareness to things, but that is like, this is our community, and this is like our tight knit like experience. So let's just experience like this for the evening, you know? So like that kind of shit's like really important to me, and like that's what I try to carry over with, you know, from what I learned in the hardcore scene to what I, you know, promote and do in pro wrestling. It's the same thing. It's like, you know, like whatever I say online is not what I'm going to bring into the ring, you know, when it comes to like, you know, the outside world, right? Because that's not why we're there. We're not there to think about the outside world. We're there to think about being lost in the moment and enjoying the moment. So that's, and it's a fine line to walk. But I feel like I found a way to be my authentic, real self, and bring people the entertainment that they want at the same time.
So how do you mentally prepare for a brutal match? I mean, I guess, you know, I guess it's going to be your outlet. You're building up for that when, you know, someone else might be loosening up with like a drink or something else. I guess, like you said, that's going to be, you know, to get the demons out, you know, that's how you're prepared. You know, this is going to be your release or your outlet.
Weirdly enough, it doesn't hit me until like 30 seconds before I hit the curtain. Like, I literally am not thinking about it at all. Cause like, like usually by the time like we're at that point, like I've already like talked through and worked through 90% of what I want to do anyway, or like what I'm cool with taking. And like, I don't mind a lot. Like I usually say yes to a lot of stuff. But when it really hits me and I have to like rev up the adrenaline is like right before my music hits. That's when my brain goes,
when the switch happens.
Yeah, and it's like, hey man, you're about to go do the thing, and I'm like, yup, all right. Like, let's fucking go, because again, go back to the pit reference. It's like I'm at a hardcore show for like maybe an hour, right? And like I'm waiting for the band to kick on that like I really want to go throw down to. I'm not thinking about getting in the pit at all until like the right moment hits, right? So like, you know, we use like a band like Terror, for example, right? like Terror plays. You know, they're playing some of their songs that like I enjoy, but not one that like I want to dive into. Then all of a sudden they play like Lowest of the Low, or Put It, or was it Push It Away? And like as soon as I hear that riff, then it's like immediate movement, right? Because now it's like I don't have time to prepare for like when I hear a song I want to fucking throw down to, or like a band would surprise you with like a cover or something. Like I remember, I went to go see fucking who was it? I went to go see Anthrax, like a couple years ago. And like Anthrax isn't really a band that like I'm gonna go throw down for, you know. But we're all chilling, we're doing whatever. And then they were doing like this drum solo that was going on for like a long fucking time, and I'm like starting to like walk out because like when dudes are just doing masturbation with their instrument, I'm like I tune out, you know.
Yeah.
Then I start hearing that, and I'm like, wait a minute, are they about to play "I'm the Man"? Like, because that song rips. Like it's such a dumb song, but I love that song. And I'm like maybe like 40, 50 feet away from the stage at this point. Like I've walked through the crowd and I'm completely gone from the pit. And then I started hearing them start the riff, and I'm like, they're playing "I'm the Man." And without even fucking putting two and two together, I climbed up onto people and I started crowd surfing my way to the fucking pit to go fucking start crowd killing and acting like a fool. And because I've never heard them play that song live. They don't play it live. So like that's kind of how like that energy of let's just go and fucking do it is like how I rip the Band-Aid off before I get out for a death match.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely got to get in that mindset and just say when you hear it and it clicks, you're like, oh, it's time to switch it on.
Yeah, because like when I'm out there too, like I can't hesitate.
Yeah,
like it's like I'm already out there and I'm like, all right, time to go. So that's I mean, I'm sorry it's not as involved of an answer to be like, well, I got this ritual and I do this and I think this way. It's literally like, all right, my music's on, bet, let's do this.
Let's go. Yeah. It's interesting though, because everybody has their own thing. You know, some people are like, oh, I got to do this, 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 and this. Some people are like, nope. You know, everybody's got their thing. So it's always interesting to hear what those routines or rituals or whatever it is that get you ready.
Yeah, I'm mainly trying to make sure I don't miss any or don't forget any of my spots.
Yeah. You got to do that.
Yeah.
So, what do you want fans to take away from JB Anderson, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Ooh, mainly like I hope to continue the legacy from people that showed me that you can do this without the wrestling business being a nasty place, that it can be a supportive and helpful brotherhood that doesn't need to get gross or nasty in order to progress your career. Like I feel like I've gotten where I've gotten because I've been like, you know, the old rule of it's nice to be nice. I'm nice to people, treat people with respect. I don't have an ego. I try to do whatever I can to like I said earlier, benefit where I go and try to help. So that would be one of my legacies that I would like to continue from the people that have shown that to me coming in. And then what I would like to leave behind is that like I don't want anyone to feel lesser than or small. I want them to feel like they can achieve anything that they fucking want because I am a visual representation of if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And it doesn't matter how old you are, man. Like I'm about to turn 39 and I've been wrestling for 4 years by the time I turn 39, right? When I turn 40, I'm 5 years in, you know, and I'm considered way late in the fucking tooth for doing what I'm doing. But I said, fuck it. And I did it. And I'm so happy that I have. So if I can leave anything behind, it's that. And then the expansion of deathmatch wrestling in Maryland. I really want to leave a legacy that like I'm responsible for Maryland opening its doors to more extreme wrestling. Those would be my legacies that I would like to leave behind.
Yeah, I'm definitely all for that. So yeah, whatever you need, I'm here for it.
Fuck yeah.
But finally, what's next for the Hardcore Hoochie Daddy? Any big goals? We talked about some of the, you know, I guess we could call them dream matches or big matches that you have coming up. Is there anybody left on the list that we didn't talk about?
Oh man, yeah, I got a deep list. I really want to work all the Ohio boys. I want to work Eric Ryan. I want to work the Bev. I want to work both the Kogars. I want to work RSP. Like, I want to work all the X440 dudes. You know, I want to work Dread. I'd like a second shot at Gage. I feel like I didn't perform as best as I could have with him, and I was not prepared for that one. I'll say that straight up. He beat my ass.
Do you feel like you had nerves going into that one?
I definitely did, because that was like such a big name for me to be in the ring with. I definitely I could have done better. I could have done better. And
do you feel like you were holding back maybe?
I think that I wasn't in the moment enough. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, I was definitely not in the moment enough because of just how surreal the experience was. And I feel like I could have been more of myself in that setting. So I'd like to get a second shot at that if it's possible. I'd love to work Mickey at some point. There's so many fucking people. Oh, sup, bud?
Little dog appearance here at that.
Fucking my dog just decided, hey bud, I'm just gonna
made a little cameo on the bingo hall.
Yeah, I got 5 of them, so they're all gonna roll in at some point. Jesus,
where's Dad at?
Yeah, it's like, sorry, I've been up here. He just wants to sleep on my couch. Jesus. Anyway, like I said, I got a deep list. There's a lot of people that I would love to share the ring with. Hoodfoot, especially. I think I said Dread. Maybe I didn't, but yeah, Dread. Yeah, and those are like names I would like to work. As far as goals go, like we said earlier, I want to get to GCW one of these days. Everyone's dream is to get to Japan, so I want to go to Japan. And then, like I said, just work, and eventually win a deathmatch tournament. I feel like if I win a deathmatch tournament, I can kind of look at whatever career I've had at that point and feel accomplished. That's the last thing on my list.
Hey, it might happen here soon. You got JJ in the first round, so that's the first one to check off the bucket list. So
yeah, man.
So let the people know where they can find you. This is your handle right here on Instagram. If you're on any other platforms, if you have anything else you want people to know or find, let them know now.
For sure. So like the thing down here says, you can find me at Violent Breed JBA on every single platform. I'm on everything from Instagram to fucking Blue Sky, if anyone still uses that.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So you type it, you'll find it. I'm on every single social media platform there is for that shit. I have my Big Cartel page where you can buy my merchandise. It's violentbreedjba.bigcartel.com. Yeah, that's about it. Come check me out in a town near you. I'm pretty laid back, so you can always just walk up and talk. I'm always down to talk and meet new fans and talk to people wherever I go. So I'm approachable. Just come up, say something. I won't fucking slap you with a carpet strip. But yeah, no, that's all the plugs. Yeah. That's the worst part. I'm always so bad at that.
Trying to remember everything.
Trying to remember everything because I got so many hands and so many pies. It's hard to remember everything.
Well, I appreciate you for stopping by the bingo hall. It's been your boy, the Hardcore Hoochie Daddy, and your boy Young Lurch. Until next time, peace.